What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Chromecast. My name is Joe Humphrey, and I'm joined here today by Gabriel Brangers.
Hello.
And Robbie Payne.
What's going on, everyone?
So it is our
150.
It's our 150.
Don't shortchange us.
50th episode.
150th. 150th.
150th.
150th?
Yeah.
150th.
I started to say it, and then I was
They don't
like, wait.
teach that anymore.
Is it truthfully, but isn't it properly 150?
Yeah.
Or is it and?
I don't know.
150?
I was taught.
We need to...
Yeah.
Judge?
We need to... No and.
No and.
I argue with my
150th.
daughter about this a lot because I guess they either teach that or they just don't care. We were taught
False.
specifically no decimal, no and.
There you go. All right.
And my daughter's like, "You're saying that wrong." I'm like, whatever.
You're wrong.
Pay some bills.
Yeah. So, anywho, we've been doing
Real talk.
We've been doing this show for now 150 episodes, and I'm real stoked about it. Not only is it our 150th episode, we're also doing our first legit video setup.
Yes.
So we did a test run last week. You all, if you're listening, if you're a patron, you got a sneak peek of that. But if you're listening, you probably heard us talk about it a little bit. We've got Andrew here helping out, and it's just, this is awesome. I just love it.
Technically speaking, our first podcast was a video podcast.
Yeah,
It was.
We did it
we were
from
like, this is what we're going to do. And then we did it. We were like, we're
this is
not going to do that anymore.
We did it
was
from the garden at Mountain View at Google's headquarters.
Yeah, and it was...
My back was hurting so bad.
It was so
bad,
uncomfortable
yeah.
because we had those crappy chairs, and we didn't really think about how long we were going to talk, and we just started recording... Or no, we streamed it. Didn't we live stream that one?
Yeah.
We live streamed, and
I mean, we just
just
shot for the moon. that was one of those early trips, by the way, that we do this every trip, but it's one of those trips where we're like, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and then we're going to go
We're going
here,
to
and then we're going to go over
podcast.
there.
We're going to make a video. We're going to film a behind-the-scenes documentary.
We were lucky to make it back from Mountain View. Let's be honest. I mean,
yeah. Because remember, we left the campus, and everyone was leaving work.
Yeah.
Because it was getting dark.
You can't ride Google's buses, and getting a Lyft or an Uber at that time
Google?
of day
Yeah.
when
It
everyone
was like
is
$500.
leaving.
It was
Getting
not
there was
cheap.
getting there was no problem. Getting a Lyft back, we ended up walking
So we
across
walked.
that bridge.
We walked to In-N-Out,
Probably 2 miles away.
to In-N-Out Burger, ate.
just chilled
And
for a little while.
got a
an
Lyft
Uber.
there once the what do they
Yeah.
call it? Peak,
Surge.
the
Surge pricing went down.
Yeah, it was $300 or $400.
It was ridiculous.
And this was before we were making any money. We had flown out there like we got an invitation
Yeah,
to Google.
we
and
have
knew,
to go.
Yeah, we knew a guy that worked for Google who offered to pick us up and take
Yeah.
us on a tour. And
Man,
we were just
it was
out
so
there
much
like,
fun.
we have no idea what we're doing. We're going to do this, and we're going to spend our own money out of our own pocket from
Yeah.
our own jobs. And
Fun fact.
How far we've come.
The red notebook that's in a lot, the YouTube notebook.
I got that there.
Joe picked that up there.
Yeah,
They still had Pixel C tablets on the wall at the time.
remember
when
that.
I went to that little
That's
store.
cool.
It sucks because I remember so much of that trip, and all I can think of is pain. Like, my back went out really badly on me that
You,
trip.
like,
I was
wasn't-
bad.
wasn't-
could barely walk bad.
Wasn't the flight out? I remember you.
I was hurting.
The flight
going
out wasn't that bad. I don't
No,
recall. It was.
And it was already bothering me. And then the event where we just had to stand all day at the event. By the time we finished up, I remember I was.
Yeah.
Because you ended
was
up sleeping
bad.
on that like retro-y hard couch just for support. And then he offers to sleep on the couch, which is right by the door because it provides his back some support. Someone bangs on her door at like
12:30.
Oh my
Was
gosh.
it 12:30? I was thinking like 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's 12:30. I'd just fallen asleep, and they're banging on the door. They're like, "This is supposed to be our room." I'm like, well, "We have the key."
So if you've been to San Francisco, you know the layout and the hills and the way all the houses. This is just a traditional San Francisco house that had been divided up into. It was a pretty dope little B&B, but I wouldn't recommend it for multiple reasons.
gosh.
But
no,
yes.
that lady was crazy.
Yeah, somebody banging on the door and like, "This is our room,"
Yeah,
and like,
fun
well,
times.
clearly it is not. So
Yeah.
there you go.
But that was our first. Well, that wasn't our first podcast, was it? Because we had done a couple shows downstairs way back. Remember we did the one recording down there, or was that after?
That was after.
That was
I'm
the
pretty
first
sure
one was there.
number
We'll
one
go back and
was because we were like, we're going to start podcasting.
Yeah.
What a way to start.
Because we like put it out on social and everything. Like, hey, we're headed to Google and we're going to do a podcast. You know,
and then we were like,
live
crap!
stream.
Now we have to actually do it.
Yeah, and we had
But-
like little.
It's we've come a long way, and we have
We
some
still don't
cameras
know what
set
we're
up.
doing.
Yeah, we're figuring it out still. We don't have it all figured out.
Thank God Andrew's here.
Andrew it was just so awesome. We were going back and comparing the footage of my first test run of trying to film and just like having the like we had the crappy old A6000 we were recording with, and I was trying to do too much, and we didn't have lighting right, and the switcher was getting all jacked, and there was frame rates dropping, and then comparing it to the test run last week of using our good cameras, setting it up correctly, getting the good audio input, like just doing it the right way, and Andrew helping out with that was just instrumental. And now, like, we did a test run last week and we were like, yeah, we're ready. Let's do it. Like, let's roll it out. We can tweak it as we get going, but we're 80% there. Like, we can tweak, we can figure out stuff, we can add cameras, but this setup, I think, is far and above anything that we had done before, and I'm just really excited. So,
and it's cool that we get to do it on 150.
Yeah, and we did not plan that.
We was not planning.
No.
I didn't think about it until we sat down.
That's about how the podcast goes.
That's normally how it is.
Because I thought we were still on like 148 or something.
Yeah,
but,
this is 150.
Awesome.
So as part of that, we're going to be doing a giveaway. So if you're listening to this, we'll link all this down in the show notes. If you're listening to this later, this giveaway is probably going to be done. But that's why we don't do giveaways on the podcast a lot, because it's timely.
I'm so out of the loop. I've
listen
been
later.
building a website. How long are we going to do the giveaway for?
So if we start it, we'll launch it tomorrow with the show,
Right.
And we'll just run it to the end of the month again. So we'll run it
Okay.
until February 28th, 2022. On that day, I think it ends up being a Monday again. I'll pick a winner at 10 a.m. Eastern time that morning.
There you go.
But we've got
On the hook.
Yeah, I know exactly. We say that I'm going to do it, and then I got to do it.
Yeah, you gotta
So Lenovo was kind enough to send us some Smart Clock 2s with the wireless charger. So I didn't know this. And
Shout out, Lenovo's just
they're
awesome.
They're fantastic.
I just reached out. Honestly, you can see it on the camera.
Oh yeah! Whoa, we can talk about stuff. I love this.
I can just point at it, and so yeah, I've got the Duet 5 in front of me again, because most people know I broke the one that they gave me to review, and then they gave us 5 more, and we gave them all away, and so we haven't had one around. And I've been almost tempted to go buy one.
And then it went on sale.
I kind of missed
Price.
it. Yeah, it went on sale, and I got
Price is
really
tempting.
tempted.
So is it still $399 right now?
It was as of like
Yesterday.
last
That's
night.
the Best
I
Buy
didn't
model
look,
that
but
is
yeah.
the same one here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
It's the one you want.
yeah, I went and bought a new PC for the golf simulator, so I'm like, I don't need to go spend that money also.
Don't need to do this.
So I held off, but I hit up Jeff and our rep with Lenovo and said, hey, do y'all have another one that's laying around? Because there's some certain like tests, and as some of these other Snapdragon and MediaTek devices come out, to be able to test it against
It will find its way into videos most certainly.
100%.
Photos.
It's great for this kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I love this device for this type of stuff. And so, anywho, it showed up, and he was like, yeah, I'll send that over. And, he may or may not be sending us some more of them to do other things with.
That's right.
But then he was like,
Foreshadowing.
hey, if you'd like a box of smart clocks to give away to tide you over, I'll send those too. And literally, that was like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The next morning, we get a literal
Very
box
early.
of the smart clock too.
I mean,
shout out to them. It's just so awesome.
I love
They're
it.
awesome.
I love it. They're always responsive. We've got great relationships with a lot of our manufacturers and reps and stuff. But yeah, shout out to Lenovo, and they just hook us up, and so yeah, we're going to be giving away. Or did we decide 5 of them? How many did they send?
They sent
Send
6.
No,
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
sending
might
them
as well
all.
do 6.
We're doing
Yeah.
6. We just decided it.
It's happening.
This is
We
how
were going to
things-
do 5 just because there's this goofy like odd number thing that
Yeah.
seems to actually have some effect. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is. There's a
It's some
psychological
kind of
thing.
like
Yeah,
5 tips or
psychological
5
thing, yeah.
things
Right.
or like.
But anyways, we've got 6. We'll give away 6.
Yeah,
I
totally.
have one at home, and it's awesome. I mean,
Make it
it's-
7.
This-
Give us yours.
There you go. I have a regular smart clock in my car. so you can
Perfect.
have it.
Odd number.
But when they first came out, when the Pixel 6 first came out, the Pixel 6 did not work with it for some reason, the wireless charging.
Yeah.
There's been an update. It works now, and I love it. It's my nightstand, because I had, what did I had? I had the original smart clock, and then I switched to a Nest Hub. And then, I have like I have a big watch case for all my watches, but then I have a small tray that like my keys, my wallet, and whatever watch I'm wearing goes in. And my nightstand started to get a little cluttered. Because I was like, well, I really want a wireless charger too, because I don't like having to charge my. Then that came out, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And then when it didn't work with the Pixel, I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the clock's fault. It was an update that Pixel did, or Google did. It works
When you
perfectly.
pop the smart clock off, it's it doesn't have a battery in it, right? Like it's
No, that,
okay. You still have to have it plugged in.
Yeah. So
then what's the point of it detaching? So if you don't want the charger, you can just have the smart clock.
Because they
sitting
sell
there.
it by itself. But yeah, so the base is the wireless charger, and it has an LED light around the bottom of the clock, which is cool because when you lay your phone down, it lights up to let you know that it's actually charging. But you can pop it right off the. That's a good question though. They sell it separately. Why not just sell it? I guess it was just easier not to make the base permanent. Since
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do they sell the base?
I don't
separately?
think so.
No.
Like if you wanted to upgrade?
Yeah.
They should because it's the same clock. Whatever.
It's dope.
Yeah. So
retail is $90 on those, right?
Yeah, I think
$89.99. So we're gonna give away 6 of them. Make sure to go get entered to win. We're celebrating our first video podcast. As I banged my mic, this is perfect, Joe.
Now, everyone's gonna know.
This is perfect.
Everyone's gonna know how unprefessional everything is.
They're not,
Right, I know.
They're not going to know.
They're
gonna know.
They're
They're
gonna be
not
like,
gonna
these
know.
bozos are the ones I've been listening to. They look like that.
Hey, shout out to some of our listeners though. I mean, Robbie and I were talking about this. Like Joe, you are a podcast.
I listen to
He listens
podcasts
to a lot
almost
of
every day.
podcasts. I don't. I have a couple of podcasts that I will listen to occasionally. I do listen to audiobooks a lot, but if I'm podcasting, I'm usually watching a video. I like watching one of my favorites. One of my favorites is watching Leo Laporte because Twit TV has dozens of programs that they put out every week, if not hundreds.
Yeah.
They do This Week in Google and all that.
A lot of content.
But they do a video version of their podcast, which is it's unedited. It's like raw. I mean, you might get some language in there or whatever. It's just they don't edit it at all as far as cutting anything out of it. So it's about an hour and 10-minute podcast, but the video is like 3 hours long.
Right.
And I love watching that kind of play out or whatever. But what was I talking about? What was my point?
Just video podcasts are cool.
Okay, yeah, video.
There you go.
Oh, we've had some people. We know the response has been really, really good because we kind of put it out there for some people in our. Did we just put it out?
Yeah, it was
for
just patrons.
So just our Patreon community got a kind of a sneak peek of last week's episode, and it's funny because some people are like, I kind of get bored listening to the podcast, but I love watching it.
Yeah,
like,
I mean it's just different. Yeah, it's a little different, and there's some cool stuff we can do with this. You know, we can take little clips. You know, if there's a little segment we want to do that we can pull a clip from,
right?
We can use it for that sort of stuff. And it's just it's just a new way of interacting with this podcast. You know, it's still the same content necessarily. We're going to talk about the same stuff. We don't edit any of our show.
Yeah.
So just FYI.
Which should come as a shock to absolutely no one. If you think that what we put out on the internet with the podcast has been edited, you are sorely mistaken.
You are just that's not the case. But yeah,
maybe we should start.
Maybe we should.
God help the person that would have to sit and cut together.
Sorry, Andrew.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Andrew's like, you know what? I actually quit.
Yeah.
I heard what you talked about, and I'm just like, I'm not here for that.
I don't know about all this.
I don't know how I could cut any of this together.
So, anywho, we've got it up and rolling. This is fun. We're excited, obviously. We're gonna have this on the website for sure. We're toying around with the idea of perhaps putting this out on a separate YouTube channel as well. We're figuring it out. It's definitely going to be on the post. Like if you go to the website and go to /podcast, and it's this episode 150 is going to have the video on there.
Yeah, eventually it'll be at a major motion picture,
and then it will hit the big screen.
It'll be
eventually.
in theaters,
HBO Max.
Yeah, we're talking with Netflix and HBO. We're figuring out. We're playing our cards to see.
We're talking. They're not.
All right,
we're just talking.
All right, I don't have the time, Andrew. How long have we been running? Okay, good. That's not too bad.
Yeah, we have to
Let's
be careful.
talk.
Joe doesn't have a computer in front of him anymore.
But now I can look at my watch. I should have.
You all like watches so much.
I know. See, and look, my dive watch, I can set it. We've been talking 15. I'm good. I'm ready now.
It's the only job.
I know, right?
And you're not using it.
I wasn't. I didn't. I'm a failure. So Chrome OS 98 is out.
Go.
And Chrome, because now they've been on the same since.
They're supposed to be 2 days apart.
Oh, okay.
Right. Chrome OS was
but the releases are
Chrome OS was
the same.
a little bit late.
I
Not
say
really
like
sure
3
why.
or 4 days.
Yeah.
They never say why.
There weren't really any bugs or anything. But since this new release schedule, they've been pretty on time. So
yeah. And so it's supposed to be every 4 weeks we'll get Chrome. 2 days later, Chrome OS is what it's supposed to be. You got to give them some leeway. This is only the second of the 4-week technical updates, and so so there's some fun little updates in Chrome 98, and then there's some fun stuff in
Shout
Chrome
out
OS
to Michael
98.
Perigo, our awesome staff writer in Florida. I feel like he's here. Like I wish he was closer, but I feel like he's. I don't think about him as like he's in Florida. He's like,
we're constantly chatting with him and
works
stuff.
for us, but his featured images for all of these update posts are
been
always
excellent.
just great.
Very
Actually, we used that on the screen in the thumbnail for the features
that's right.
video that is going to go out tomorrow morning,
maybe.
Yep.
We'll have a kind of like a new Chrome OS features video. So obviously, some of the stuff we talk about today will be in
5/7/8 features.
Yeah, it's more like 9, but we
It's
call
kind
it
of like
5.
it's kind of like 9, 6.
There's a bunch of new stuff with virtual desks. That I
kind of
threw
put
together.
those all together. Yeah.
With Chrome OS 98, we have there wasn't a ton of there wasn't a bunch of big banner stuff like, oh my god, Chrome OS or Chrome 98 is amazing. They made some improvements to PWAs, specifically like the top part of them. And so if you think about PWAs in Chrome on another operating system, the other operating system has its own top bar, and then you would have like the top bar part of the PWA. Now they've kind of merged that, so the PWA name is up there, and if a search bar or whatever, it's all can be integrated into the main top bar. Again, you might use PWAs on like Mac and stuff.
Yep.
I'm assuming it does a little bit of that. Do you get a Mac top bar and then another kind of bar?
I don't know.
With Chrome OS, you don't.
You're just used to it.
Yeah, I probably I'd have to check.
So like Chrome OS has
like the calendar and everything. I'm pointing at the device over there. The calendar and everything. It's all everything's PWA.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I feel like you would notice that. I don't know. I don't use a lot of PWAs on other devices, but that they're cleaning up support on that. And then you've got some better emojis that have better definition and that kind of stuff. But one of the cooler things was the desktop screenshot. So basically, there's the in the share button in the Omnibar or Omnibox, or is it box or bar? I was Omnibar, but I guess maybe it's Omnibox. I don't know.
I think
I
Google
call it
refers
URL
to
bar
it as an Omnibox. Yeah,
because they're supposed to call this the everything button on our keyboard too, and they even still refer to it as the search button. I'm like, why'd y'all make a blog post about calling it the everything button?
Which cracks me up because Eric from CTL emailed me the other day about their 2 new devices, and he referred to it as the everything button, and it felt so weird reading that because I'm like, no one calls it that. And this guy, they make Chromebooks, and
Google said that's what it is.
I don't
That's
either,
what it is.
Yeah, but nobody's calling it that.
Google doesn't ever call it that. Like, that's the problem. If they constantly refer to it as that,
I made this. This is a Coke, but we're going to call this Fred. But it's a Coke. I don't care.
Everyone calls it Coke. I don't care. It's kind of like Meta and Oculus.
Yeah.
And shout out to this guy, Leo.
Leo Piva?
Is it Piva 64? Piva? Yeah, he's on Twitter a lot, tweeting. Every time there's a Chrome Canary update or anything, he is drilled down in Chrome, sharing a lot of this stuff with us. So we get a lot of really good information from him. He obviously has a really good grasp of.
Just keeping an eye on what's going on.
Is the copy thing stable now?
Yeah, copy is in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that in the video. Yeah. But yeah, in the share sheet up there in the URL bar, I'll just say that you click it and you have it enables you to take a screenshot just of, I believe it's just the tab that you're in. I don't know if he said.
Are you talking about the search bar?
Yeah,
that's the search. That's where you search for.
Also that too. That's why Google calls it Omni. I mean, it does a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't write Omnibar or Omnibox in my post because I'm afraid people are like, "What, an Omni? What now?"
Yeah.
You can just type in searches up there.
You type google.com first.
HTTP, and then I go to Google and I type my. Yeah. Didn't you also used to work with somebody that would do something?
He would Google.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
That is what it is.
And so basically, the idea being that if you need a quick screen grab of what's in your viewport, you can grab it and share it out really quick.
Right.
Versus, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know Windows very well, but I know that trying to get a screen grab on a Windows machine is a real pain in the butt.
Yeah, because finding they have the snipping tool, which
but it's still like
buried.
Even when you do the shortcut, it launches the snipping tool, and then you hit a button. Because we've gotten used to Chrome OS and the ease of now screenshots and then cut screenshots
Yeah.
and video and all this stuff. Like, it's built right in. I mean, the device I'm looking at right now, both of these right here have a screenshot button on the keyboard that's clearly marked. You touch it, you do your screenshot, and then boom, you can share it. Like, I've gotten so used to that you go to another operating system, like, why is this so difficult?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is a very normal thing to have to do on a constant basis, and you don't have a clear way for people to do this? Like, this is insane. Like, for a long time, like up to Windows 10, I think, before it, you had to like use the print screen button was how you did it on Windows. So you hit the print screen, that was what grabbed the screen, and then you had to paste it somewhere where you could see it and do something. But
Right.
like,
Fantastic.
what?
Because I think
really good workflow.
Aren't they adding it to this share button?
I don't know if they're going to do it in Chrome OS or not.
But
I don't know.
But they added that it's in Chrome, right?
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
Chrome. And maybe
so-
once Lacrosse takes over, it will.
But I think I'll have to double check. But I think that's another advantage to Edge moving to Chromium as well, because I think Edge has that now. Which if
that's
if
nice,
you're
yeah.
on Edge, that's great. If you're trying to take a screenshot of something just in Windows,
It's a pain
Robbie
in the
said,
butt.
it is
Yeah.
a pain.
Drop it into the browser tab, and maybe you'll have an easier time.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some better privacy tools and stuff like that. But that was the main thing. Was the desktop screenshots and new emojis and stuff like that. So Chrome 98 wasn't a huge update.
A couple little things.
Cleaning up the PWAs is kind of nice, but really, I feel like I was surprised that Chrome OS 98 had so many features. There's some stuff that we shared that was behind flags and stuff, but out of the box there was, for it to be a quiet, like they didn't even do a blog post.
Yeah,
for
there
this
was
one.
not even a keyword post.
For it to be a quiet one. I'm like, okay, there's a few cool little things here. Stuff we've talked about before, but I'm just kind of scrolling through the article as we talk about this. But I think in the 97 flags, the screen capture tweaks are now live, so you can choose where you want the screen captures saved. So again, it doesn't sound like a huge thing, but everything got dumped into your downloads folder before.
Right.
So now it's like, okay, I can create a folder for those. Like if I'm doing this all the time, I can say, okay, it's going to go to this folder, or link it to a drive folder if you want to. And so it's, as soon as you take that screenshot, it goes to that folder that's shared with the people that need to see it. You don't have to do anything with it. You don't even have to share it after that, which is pretty sweet. And then I think I don't know if that happened. Let's just see. I don't know. Let me click this.
Give it a try.
Let's see what happens. Audio input. Yeah, I would assume I've got the audio input switcher here as well. So if I had an external mic hooked in, again, the idea being like for instructors or people doing classes or something like that, I need to quickly share something. Mm-hmm. We've talked about it. It's very much in the works. Lots of commits about it now of having the screen cap or the camera capture down in the corner. Like now they're doing the commits to like what it's going to look like, how it's going to move, and all that kind of stuff is all getting worked on. But you'll be able to do screen capture, like video capture, and see your face down there in the bottom. So like if you're doing a class, you can do it all here. No plugins needed. And again, you'll be able to say, hey, I want it from my external mic that I plugged in because I want sweet audio while I'm doing this or whatever.
It's nice.
And then have it saved to XYZ folder in Google Drive that you've already told your class, hey, I've shared this folder with you.
Just simplifying
Just be on the lookout
so
for it.
much,
As soon as I get done, I hit save. It's uploaded to the cloud.
That's
boom,
really
it's out of
nice.
the way. I mean, that's a really, really nice additional feature.
And we like
there.
Loom. Like shout out to Loom.
Sure.
They've
do
got a great
job.
service.
And they'll be great for Windows and Mac users.
Yeah, totally. But
but
this is so awesome that they're doing, because Loom got a lot of stuff right.
Oh yeah.
Like during pandemic stuff, like they kind of had a good push, and they probably rolled out some good features based on everything happening, and it's just really cool to see Chrome OS adopt a lot of those same just awesome features. There's just stuff you need for this sort of thing, and it's fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
And I haven't messed with this. Did you mess with the scanner app yet?
No.
So they've just added manual cropping. So document scanning on Chromebook still seems like a weird thing to be doing with pretty crummy webcams. I don't know that I'd want to be scanning a 720p camera to a document. Like, are you going to be able to read any of that text?
Yeah.
But like a device that I have here with this Lenovo,
use
use that back camera and get a decent, scan in. But now you can actually crop manually on the corners, which is just a nice touch. Network-based recovery. This is one we can't.
I can't wait
yet,
to see this.
I'll let you talk about this. And you've dealt with it more.
I'm not sure. I don't know where. Was this in the thing you got from Google? Did they mention it?
No, I'm trying to remember where he saw this one because this did not come directly.
Yeah, Android
from
Headlines,
Google.
I think, or Android Police had this in their post. We've been tracking it for a little bit now, but it hasn't been around for a very long time. Kevin Tofel's the one that discovered it, so I was surprised to see anyone mention it in '98. But essentially, the kernel on the board is going to have like this mini OS recovery, and it's going to allow users to, I guess, connect to the internet so that it can pull down the recovery image from the web, which is awesome.
Pretty
Because
cool.
if you've ever had to recover a Chrome OS device, you know that you need another device to do it. You have to have a 8 gig flash drive laying around. It takes a little bit. You got to download an image, and I mean, 3 times out of 100, it doesn't work for some reason because you've got a bad, disk, or it just didn't download right or whatever. This is going to, and it's going to be if it's available. So eligible devices that can do this, and maybe it's an older late thing. Maybe it's.
I just wonder if it might be like it might be only be available for right now, like on certain devices, just because they got to get that stuff all lined out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my email with our Google rep to see if he mentioned this because now I'm curious because I forwarded this. We talked about it last week. I've been in website redesign mode, so I'm so out of the loop.
Yeah.
So if I'm saying a lot of, I'm not sure. I don't know. I really don't this week. I'm so I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah. So essentially, our thought is that when you are in recovery mode, which is the black screen that tells you walks you through the process.
It is.
It is.
It's in from Google.
I'll be darned.
Awesome. Does it say anything about which devices?
But I'll read this. In Chrome OS 98, some users will be able to reflash their devices with a fresh copy of the OS and firmware, thus letting them recover if they've somehow gotten to the white screen of death. Chrome OS missing or damaged. The feature will roll out to more devices in later releases. So my guess is they'll just prep the BIOS.
It
probably
may
in
just
certain
be
one.
like the Go or something like
Yeah.
that, because this is 11th gen and it's not
doesn't have it.
not on here, and I'm in Canary now. But
I want to see it though.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to see it because
that'd be
that's
cool.
the cool thing is that you'll be on the recovery screen and you'll have the option to walk through the process of using USB stick, or it'll say connect to the internet to attempt the recovery.
because we were talking about that part the other day.
Yeah,
well, crap, it's going to have like there's going to have to be some interface to get you online.
Yeah,
Like,
you will have to be able to connect to a network in order for it to work. But assuming that will just be added to the recovery screen, and you'll see your Wi-Fi options, connect, and then it'll see if it can download a recovery image. Which that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
it just takes the whole OS image and easy recovery and ease of use to another level.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
If something bad happens to your Chromebook and there's Wi-Fi,
You're
for
good.
a lot of people, think about it, you get white screen of death, which I haven't had that happen in a long time.
No.
But if it happens and you need to get it fixed, it's like how do you go about doing that if you don't have a device laying around, a USB stick laying around?
Yeah,
You're
because
stuck.
that's the thing. We take that for granted because we know there's 50 devices around here. We have
Right.
Macs, we have some Windows machines, we have tons of Chromebooks, we have flash drives, we have everything that we need, and we know how to do it. We've
If you're
done.
out and about, you know.
How many people
just
got
stuck.
How many
You're-
people got a Chromebook in the last year during the pandemic and have no idea that those things are needed to do it? It's not like
Yeah.
Right.
there's no class that when you log into a device says, "Hey, by the way, you're going to need to get these things and have them
Right.
available." So a lot of people are going to be needing a recover, and they're going to be like, "What am I going to do?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
think it's
makes me
great.
think like that'd be a good little article of like, hey, here's a thing
Emergency
you should think
kit.
of.
Yeah,
Emergency
like
kit,
a toolkit for your.
Yeah, keep it
Totally.
every few months. Like keep that little USB stick backed up and ready to throw it in your bag.
Totally.
and it's just there, because you only need an 8 gig stick, I think.
Yeah, I've even thought about.
Like a
I
dime at
have
this point.
finally figured out Cross.tech. Shout out to them if you've ever used their website. It's just a nice, stylish version of the boards and what version they're on. But you can also download recovery images there. I've talked to the person. The person who built it is actually in the same state as us. It's built entirely with React and JS. I mean, it's a really cool,
It's cool.
Yeah.
cool little site. But I finally figured out how they're pulling the images and where they're pulling them from. I'm thinking about figuring out a way to maybe host those on our other hosting account, just so
that'd be
we
cool.
have them.
Yeah,
that
that'd be
way,
dope.
our readers know, hey, we can go here and get a recovery image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that'd
That'd
be
be
really
dope.
cool. So.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a nice. I don't know. This is a cool step, I think, in the right direction for Google. Like, we've talked. I don't know if we've talked about it on here, but they're working on like the whole save state of your desktop, basically.
Yeah.
So all your windows
It's
where
nice.
they are. And we talk about this. We'll talk about this in a second. But like you're seeing shades of this with virtual desks and what you can do with these desk templates. Like it's not just opening the same things that you had, like opening and put them in the exact same spot you left them, kind of thing. And so, like, this idea that Chromebooks become more and more able to just take what you did and put it over here, and so that even extends
more and more
all
cloud
way,
computing
it
capabilities.
just extends all the way down to the core part of the OS with this whole NBR thing, giving you the ability to, hey, my Chromebook's baked. It doesn't matter. Like the state of that device is linked to the internet.
Yeah,
and
I mean, you think about your mobile device. If you, I always want to say power wash. If you factory reset your phone, or if you bork your phone and you go through the recovery process, it has a SIM card in it, or it's going to prompt you to connect to Wi-Fi. It's always attempting to do that. Chromebooks, as they sit right now, don't do that. But the ability to get them connected to the internet before you ever log in or boot Chrome OS creates a lot more options.
Yeah, totally.
So.
Are there a couple more things with 98?
Chrome OS?
Yeah. Okay, well, let's
take... because there's all that we haven't talked about anything we did the video on yet.
Yeah, let's take a quick break for an ad, and we'll come back and chat the rest of those, and maybe a couple other things.
Yeah.
All right. Alrighty. Welcome back, everyone. So, we have a couple other things on Chrome OS 98 that we're going to chat through, and then... like normal, we went to sit down to do the podcast, and Robbie said, "There's not that much to talk about. This one will probably be a quick episode."
I didn't say that. I said, I know we always say this.
Yeah.
There's not that much to talk about. Who knows? It could be.
And then the first half was just 98. We do have some other stuff to chat about. We'll see what we get to here, but I did set my watch this time, so I know what time we got started.
Nice.
So you can teach an old dog new tricks, okay?
So let's see. That one we're going to cover. Let's see. So now we can kind of switch to the video that we did yesterday and talk through those kind of things. We by the time you're listening to this video will be out. So
it's
you can
exported.
Check the site.
We're just
it'll be
upload
linked
it.
in the show notes. All that kind of stuff. Let me get my notes up here because I'll end up forgetting. What
all we did.
Yeah.
We did it yesterday, Robbie. Why can't you remember?
Been staring at code all
because
morning.
my brain is full of
mush.
Dark theme.
I never know what exactly you say in the videos because as we're filming, I'm sitting in.
I'm not listening.
Any
of it.
I'm listening. I'm trying to hear if there's something we need to redo. But as far as the content of what you're saying, not really listening.
Dude, you should just
don't care.
Take a video and just ramble something crazy.
I'll know that. I mean, I'll catch on to that. I'm just saying the details of what we talked about yesterday.
Dude,
no idea.
I have notes.
I remember the share sheet. I remember app reordering.
We'll start with Smartlock UI, which was a terrible pain in my butt. It cost us at least an hour's worth of time.
We have behind the scenes footage of all of this too, which is going to be great. If you want to check that out, chromabox.com/Patreon.
I figured out what might have been causing some of it. I forget all the time. We have a little old Chrome base that sits on our refrigerator that we just have logged into analytics. So it's there all the time. We stare over it.
The ticker.
Well, it's logged into the Chromenbox at Gmail account.
So it was.
That's what we were using on the other one, and so I guarantee you, Smartlock was between my phone and that because I moved my phone over to Smartlock.
It kept kicking off his phone every time.
It would work, and then it wouldn't, and then it would work, and then it wouldn't, and I'm like, what? So is it? And so I don't know if it was trying to talk to the other device and unlock it, or because it was unlocked already. It's like, wait a second, it's unlocked.
Which phone were you using?
My phone.
Well, we tried
my personal phone.
We tried the 6 Pro as well.
Yeah, and it was, but see, the 6 Pro, I wouldn't have think. Of course, I think Smartlock stuff follows your account. So the minute you add a phone to Smartlock, it works on all devices signed into that account.
Right.
And so they're both back to back. I don't know. It may not have been.
It was weird. It wasn't working.
It wasn't
It took us forever.
I finally figured out a workaround to make it work one time, and then it wouldn't work. So I knew how to do it. So we got it all set up, and we're like, all right, film. We're going to do this one first.
Yeah.
So
we made it happen.
Yeah.
Made it happen.
But it worked fine on the Asus, but that one was logged into my personal account. So who knows? But either way, the Smartlock UI, they've changed it, and I think once they actually roll this out, this is a flag. Once they actually roll it out, it's hopefully going to be an update and a beneficial one. Because like I said, on my the CX5400, it was working really well. Because I showed Gabe, and I'm like, look how good this is. Like, it's really responsive and quick, but it's a nice little UI
the UI
change.
is so cool, and if you have a device
nice.
with a fingerprint sensor, it's even better. It
Yeah,
looks
'cause
really cool.
It bumps the fingerprint over. What's funny
nice.
is on the Chrome base, it kept showing. I had 2 accounts, and on the second account, it kept showing log in with fingerprint. And I'm like, that's not a
Really?
not a thing here. And so I don't know if it just
It's
like puts
no
that
fingerprint.
there.
That's what we need to. We do still need to buy a
third party.
third party one and see if they work. I think that would
That would be
cool.
amazing, especially like for a desktop setup.
Yeah,
You
you just have your own little 2FA device right there. Just
probably just have to find one that, as long as Chrome OS supports the whatever protocol it uses, it should plug and play, I would think.
The new Apple keyboards just have the fingerprint scanner right there on the right.
Yeah,
the way to
and
go.
Again, it depends. It depends on if if Chrome OS if the devs have looked at it and said, well, this is a good one, we'll support it or whatever. But yeah, so it's just a little UI change. It's a nice little thing, and it just seems way more when it was working. It seemed way more responsive, much quicker, and I hope that they get it working to where it's really good.
Yeah,
because
totally.
The whole Smartlock thing's kind of cool, and so with a device that doesn't have it, I mean, if your phone's just sitting there, hit your little fingerprint on it, and you're logged in. So, and it let me log in from cold boot. So, turn the device on from being completely off. And usually the first time you got to put in your password and then it'll work. It would work.
Working there. Wow.
Yeah, right out of the box.
I hope that's not a bug, because that does
seriously
drive me nuts. I'm like, I don't need to put in my password.
But Android does that too.
Yeah.
Like when you log in the first time, you can't log in with your fingerprint. You have to put in either.
It does kind of make sense though, because like if you're sitting over there and you're playing on your phone and your phone's unlocked and you're not paying attention to me, I can grab your laptop and bloop bloop. I mean,
it's true.
So I kind of get it. They probably will change it now.
Great, thanks, Gabe. Thanks for nothing, Gabe.
Maybe they'll give you an option.
Yeah,
that would be
that would be nice.
They
or
probably
just
won't
put
do that.
these
either.
on every device.
Yeah, fingerprint scanners should just be on all devices. But anyway,
whatever.
We digress. So let's talk. Yeah, the virtual desk stuff. So I mentioned one thing that was in Michael's write-up that I was reading through a second ago. There's a bunch of new virtual desk stuff.
Yeah.
So one is the shortcuts. So Shift, everything button, search key, whatever you want to call it. Search or Shift and the button above Shift, and any number 1 through 8 goes directly to that desk.
So cool.
If you have desk 6 open, like I know in my head, first desk is main, second desk is messaging, third desk is like tools and creative stuff, fourth desk is media, stats and stuff like that. So I know my 4 desks and I know where they go, and so I can just jump right to them, which is really nice because I already kind of use keyboard shortcuts anyway.
Yeah.
For moving desks, and Gabe was trying to do it, but it won't work unless you have some desks.
Yeah, I don't have any.
You got no
so.
desks.
Better not mess up our really nice.
That's why I was
backdrop.
gonna look and see if I add some desks over here. Is it
Ooh,
gonna, is the
I
cast,
still think you
the
could
casting still works?
Grab
That's
that tab and just throw it over there.
Oh, yeah. There you
so
go.
if you don't know that shortcut, you just highlight a window and you hit Shift, everything button, and then your little square bracket that's up above your enter key to the right. It'll just shoot that window over to the next desk. Anywho, that's not new.
Is it going to break something if I do that?
It shouldn't. No.
No, I mean on our cast over here.
It might.
Did it work?
It's
Fine.
good.
Okay, cool.
We're good at
It
that.
didn't zip off
And
the
that's
screen.
nothing against Chrome OS. Cast does what it wants to do. You never know what it's going to do. And now I've lost I don't know where I'm somewhere where I.
Well, you're also in Canary, so
Oh,
who
I
knows?
should have used the shortcut. There we
Boom.
go. Oh, boom. Okay.
Right
cool.
to 2.
Nice.
Number 2. I'm there.
It's really nice. I like that.
That is built in Chrome OS 98. No flags needed. There is, I think the drag one, I think is still under a flag. So you can also grab a window. If you're in your overview mode, you can grab a window, just drag it over the plus, and it will create a new desk. See if you can do that. Oh, you're in Canary, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Which is in 100.
100.
Yeah.
So
Surprised it's not completely busted, to be honest with
I'm glad
you.
we used this one to cast the background thing.
Yeah.
That just tends to be the way we do things.
We should. We should
should do a video
We should do
call
like
on
an
this.
important video call on it and just
Let's see what happens.
see what happens. Maybe at
Shut
the
up.
very end of the
Live
video,
on.
we won't see the person we're talking to because the screen is completely
We
glitched.
assume you're still here. Bye.
What did we just close? Okay, full disclosure, we were in a pretty important call and we used Gabe's device for some reason, and it's in Canary
Because it had a good camera. That's
yes,
why.
That's
and
exactly
towards
what it was.
towards the end of the call, screen completely
It was
glitches.
just like gray fuzz.
No, like we could not see anything.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like we could. Oh, it was like glitch, and I
Yeah.
can still maybe click.
Audio
around.
was
Nope,
fine.
audio was fine.
Yeah.
They were still seeing us. We
Yeah.
just couldn't see them, so we had to be like, it. yep, that sounds good. Okay, yep, we'll talk to you soon. Like,
And,
and I remember I just closed the device. I was like, I don't know what to do.
Company. Little, just,
So it was fun.
But it worked out. So anyway,
Totally fine.
I think this one's a flag. You can drag it, drag any window to the plus, assuming you don't have 8 desks open already.
Right.
And it'll open you a new desk. And that sounds like a small thing, but again, it's one of these. If you're in the middle of trying to like sort all your windows out and you go to grab the thing, it's like, oh, I don't have that desk and I don't want to put it there. And if I put it there and drop it here, then a new desk and then go back overview and drag
totally.
You'll be able to just go, there. And you can name the desk and all that kind of stuff. And in that same vein, you can actually, in the overview mode with all that, as you're naming your desk, you can save that desk layout as a template. And that's what we talked about kind of earlier.
Is that still a flag?
Desk templates, yes.
Yes, yeah,
templates
I remember
are
you pulling that one up, yep.
And it's right like in your overview above all your floating windows, there's a little button that says Make Template. And it doesn't just template what's open on that screen. It templates, it keeps the name that you've named the desk, and it keeps every app open in the size that you got it open on the spot in the screen where you've got it open. So
that's great.
I'm going to go through now. It would be right here.
Oh.
So you can theoretically go through and be like, all right,
I'm going to
my media desk.
I do the same thing every morning. I open up and I create my desks and I
drag them around. Yep.
Yeah, and so now I can just template those. They'll be saved. Ideally, they would get saved because now we're going to have this save state thing to where my Chromebook saves my entire state. So this templates will get saved. So I open up a new Chromebook, log in.
Boom.
You go to your overview mode, and there's a button that shows templates. You just click your templates and go 1, 2, 3,
so
4.
fantastic.
Done. The whole desktop's set up.
It's awesome because we were talking about like when we publish an article, there's certain things that we do for social share and email and all that stuff. Yeah. That could just be one of the templates. And
exactly.
You only need that template when you're publishing an article. That's perfect.
Quick shortcut, boom, 5, share.
Yep.
You know,
it's awesome.
It's little stuff like that keeps adding up to make me never want to do work on anything other than a Chromebook.
Right. And it's not bogging anything down is the beautiful thing about it.
And I like that these 4-week cycles, they're just doing these little niceties. Like
it feels like they're not trying to like cram a bunch of big updates.
We got to do all this stuff, and half the time something would be a little janky or whatever. Like no, like we're just
fix it up,
improving over time, and I love it.
Right, because like Borealis, whenever Borealis becomes a thing, that update can literally just be, hey, this is Borealis.
They don't have to feel like we're going to get all that other stuff in. Like it's okay. In 4 weeks, we'll deal with those things because the updates are coming so quickly. We don't have to feel like we've got to cram so much into. They'll
call that Stadia. And then they'll make Stadia Google Stream. And but then if you want to stream your thing to YouTube, that'll be a Google Stream too.
Yeah. And then they'll do that for a little while, and then they'll just shut down.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We might get to talking about that.
It's another thing we might talk about.
So, and then finally on the desk's front, there's another flag in there where they've got like an updated gestures flag that's cleans it up a little bit. And if you use desks and you use the 4-finger swipe gesture and since they changed it to where you could do one long swipe to go through all your desks or flick kind of, it's been a little touchy since then, like to the point that I've gotten used to the keyboard shortcuts. I just kind of use those instead, and to me it's just easier. I can hold the thing, shift and it's just search key in the brackets. I just do it without thinking now. And I know if I'm on desk 1, I want to go to desk 4. I just hold it, go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And so I can just jump between them quick. And because it's just been the touch on the 4-finger swipe has just been weird.
Yeah.
This flag feels like it solidifies it back to where I can do a 4-finger flick, like right now. Like I just did it on this Chromebook in front of me, and it thought for a second, and then it just popped the desk into place.
Yeah.
It just did it there too. Smooth. Now, if I take my time, but then it didn't go, and then it got caught. It's just not quite been right. This flag really feels like it kind of cleans it all up. It was really nice, and it felt like the 4-finger flicks between desks worked. And then if I grabbed onto the longer, like it was ready to take that 4-finger input very quickly, and it should. There's nothing else you do in a Chromebook with all 4 fingers on it. So the minute you place 4 fingers on the trackpad, it should be ready to start moving Virtual Desk, and that flag helps that. So. That's the virtual desk stuff. So we bundled all that as one thing. It was a bunch of stuff.
Because if not, the title was going to be weird.
Yeah. And then there's the new site settings that aren't really new. I at least opened up it on 97 and it was there.
Yeah.
But I just had never seen it. And so we kind of said that in the video, like, this may not be new, and it may be really old. So you may look at this and be like, oh, that's not new at all. But it was new to me.
Yeah, and it's helpful.
It's
and it's a very helpful
Yeah,
feature.
you should be aware of if not. And it's just, you hit the little lock that's up there by the actual URL of the site you're on. And used to, it gave you cookies and then there's
connection
a site
secure,
setting.
cookies, and site settings.
Yeah, and they're all linked out to something else.
Yeah.
Now you have these little toggle switches that show up under there. So if you have notifications turned on for it, or if there's a video playing on it, or there are pop-ups that happen on the site, or any of those things, you have the ability to just click that and toggle those things off right there. It's the same thing as opening site settings and doing it. It's just one less step to just go, turn off. Good.
Yeah,
good, done.
and a good example is like you've gone to a site and you've allowed location access because you were putting in your shipping address or something like that. So
Right.
you allowed that, but then you went back to that site and it shows up and you're like, oh, that's annoying. You don't have to go back to the site settings and then reload the page. It's just right there.
Yeah,
you just turn it
sitting
on.
there.
Nice.
You know,
And it's dynamic. Like it only shows
yeah.
you the ones that are there for. It's not like you get a list. If there's no sound on that, turning sound on and off isn't a
so
thing.
if you've never enabled or disabled anything, that won't show up, and your site settings will be whatever Chrome's default site settings are. So like,
It's nice.
pop-ups will be blocked, this, that, whatever, and then you change something, and it shows up right there. And
yeah,
great.
it's
So,
just a little handy thing.
more
Yeah.
niceties.
So then there's copy in the share sheet. So we were talking about share sheet earlier, but the screen grab stuff in the URL bar now. There's on Chromebooks, you hit the share sheet and it'll actually copy the URL. Again, sounds like a really ridiculous thing that should have been there forever.
That's a big one though. We were talking about this because there are times like I'll go to share a YouTube video out of one of our posts or whatever, and if you click share on a Chrome OS device on an embedded video, it pops up the share sheet. There's no option to copy the URL of that video. So there's literally no way to copy the URL of that video except for opening it in YouTube and then using the share button that's
Right.
in YouTube. So that was one of those when share sheet first became a thing. I was like, why is there not just a copy button in here? That doesn't make any sense. That should just be standard.
Number one, like
any-
nearby share and copy should be like
Right there.
1 and
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
First
I
thing.
mean, it's great that you can share to like PWAs and all that stuff, but I want to copy things.
Yeah,
So-
totally.
So that's there. That's nice. And then finally, the ability to, again, it's under flags, but this thing's got to be coming. My guess, maybe Chrome OS 100, they'll roll it out. But the productivity launcher, Michael's done a good job of covering down on this over time.
Yeah.
We included it in
He
our last.
designed it.
Yeah, I was going to say, he made a mock-up.
His mock-up is
Pretty spot on.
Pretty
Pretty
spot on.
close, yeah.
I can't wait till it fully rolls out. Has he done a article of here was my mock-up, here's how it turned out?
for a couple of the things that have rolled out, he's said hey, here was my mock-up. If you don't remember, but I think it'll be
I
cool
wanna do it,
once all this stuff's out for him to be able to say here,
check it out.
Yeah, here's what it looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, the productivity launcher basically is the small launcher that launches up on the left. Like it was back earlier,
Way back in the day.
pre-70.
The way it should.
What's crazy is I'm on 100 and it's still not default.
Yeah, I don't know that they'll. I think they might roll it out in stable 100. I mean, there's things that.
Do you think they'll make it optional? Like you can choose your launcher that you want?
I bet
No.
not.
I bet not either. But
I
I'm
think
just,
and I don't think it should be like the full screen launcher on desktop is dumb.
Tablet
Like,
mode,
it just
boom, makes
doesn't-
perfect sense.
Yeah, but and that's what happened was they got so tablet focused with the Pixel Slate, they couldn't deliver on half the things they were trying to do.
Yeah, it was,
And so it was this
not
weird thing. And so they pushed. I mean, if you remember prior to that update, you didn't have all the rounded pill-shaped stuff in the bottom. You didn't have. You had a
the
different button down
animations
here.
and all that.
All these things changed, and it was all to get ready because it was in August before the event, and they did all this stuff in preparation for this tablet that was just a cluster. I mean, it was a mess, and and they never reverted it. It's not they decided to stop making tablets and didn't go, I wonder if we should stop making our whole interface tablet oriented. We're not going to make anymore.
Right.
But no, we'll keep a full screen app launcher. I know Macs have the thing 5 finger if you pinch in or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
never use it.
But yeah, most people don't use that to launch applications. And I mean, you can say what you want about Windows, but in general, there are some things that have stuck around in Windows. Like Windows tried to go full screen. Remember Windows 8? Everybody remember Windows 8? hit the start button, and then you went into this
Like,
like
whoa.
wild other interface, and people were like, "This sucks. We hate
So
this."
was it all like the little
Could
modular
not
blocks and stuff?
stand
Was
it.
that in there?
Your start menu basically opened up the tablet launcher. And it was like,
That's what
what is this?
Now I know. So PUBG Mobile had a huge update. I guess it probably wasn't a huge update. We just haven't played it in months because we've been playing New State. Their new map layout when you go in the maps.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what it reminds me.
Windows 8.
Yeah, I did
So,
not like that one.
Windows
bit.
8.1 came out, and they were like, "Oh, our bad."
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
everybody wants tablet stuff everywhere, and they reverted back to the start menu on the left side like they used to have, and they've stuck with that. Again, like, you can say what you want about Windows or whatever, but certain UI things stay in place for a reason,
Right.
Because upending them isn't any more beneficial than leaving it the way it was
Right.
and just tweaking that. And so now you're getting this launcher that's there. Yes, the old Chrome OS app launcher was super basic, the old one that picked up. It was just a little light screen that had your apps in it.
Yeah.
You know, this productivity launcher has the search bar up top. It has your recent stuff, whether it be tabs or apps, and then you've got your whole, list of stuff and folders, and like, it's great. It is awesome, and it's over there and it's out of the way, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
But one thing that everyone, including myself, has been clamoring for in the app launcher forever, because why in God's name would I not be able to do this, is the ability to sort my freaking apps.
Yeah.
Especially when Chrome OS just likes to go,
Is that-
it's like a cat. It's just like, it's over there.
Throw that.
So we got some flack for writing a post one time. Was it that? Remember because we submitted feedback or created a bug report or something?
No, that was
Never
not
mind.
that.
Okay.
Robbie doesn't want to talk about it.
I know exactly what it is. I still get emails when people are like, "Is there any update on this?"
Okay,
What
never
was
mind.
it? Throw it out there. Who cares?
It was the tablet mode split screen thing. I thought.
Oh, the jank?
Yeah,
Huh.
it's super janky when you move. They've mitigated it with some new flags. It's a whole thing. But what I thought was, hey, the iPad does this, I think, better than most. Apparently not what most people think, but I think it does a good job with it. That when you go to resize the side-by-side stuff in tablet mode, it just blurs out everything on both sides until you get done resizing it, and then it redraws it real fast. And so it takes away all the need, because think about most websites, as you resize the window back and forth, like, you have elements going all over the place. And so I was like, just blur it, like
Save some resources.
and until they're done, and let go, and then it pops back in. And then I wrote a thing about it and said, hey, if you think this is a good idea, go star this. And so it blew up this one thing, and some of the developers were like,
got some
this is
tongue
probably
lashing.
not the best way for you to use your platform. I'm like, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But
But
we're
it already
gonna do it
happened.
anyway.
So there's
And it almost sometimes, like, it got reopened, like
Yeah.
they got assigned, and some people got some work done on it. What they're doing is a little bit different, but like, for web content and stuff, what they're doing basically is like, and I don't think it's rolled out yet, but as you slide it, instead of trying to resize everything immediately, it's like, hey, just let the web content slide over for right now, and then when they let go, then resize.
Fix it.
And
Yeah.
it's like, as long as it saves resources, I don't care what it's doing. It's just, the tablet mode needed some work. Like, it was really rough. It's gotten a lot better over time, and as devices get faster, it's becoming less and less of a problem. But yeah, that was that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the launcher reorder, we did not do that. We've talked about it, that it needs to be a thing, but we didn't do that. And so it's here now. And so there's a little flag. You right click inside your productivity launcher, sort your apps alphabetically or by color.
Which is so.
Which, like, I went back and watched the video.
But how
When
did
you were doing the color, it was all messed up. Like,
Well, you gotta
the
look at the
folders
apps.
were messed up, and then
Well, the folders are always going to go first.
Yeah.
They don't sort by color.
Yeah.
Because
Okay,
they're
maybe
full
that's
of
what it
stuff.
was.
And then we only had like 6 other apps
Yeah.
in there.
What's the color order? Is it Roy G. Biv or is it alphabetical?
I guess it's Biv, because blues were
Yeah.
towards the end.
That makes-
Really?
I would
Weird.
guess that's. But who,
I don't know why you would want to do
But
that.
anyway, let's sit down and figure out which ways we would like to sort apps. Alphabetical is obviously the first one you choose, and then reverse alphabetical.
Yeah.
What other way were you going to sort your apps?
By color.
Like, who says this?
Hey.
Whoever.
RGB.
Sorry.
Hey, RGB keyboards. Guys code their key. They set their keys to specific colors, because then hey, if I'm looking for this app, I know it's that color.
It's that color.
So I'm going to navigate.
Maybe. And
It's
again,
a reach, but I mean, that's what I'm going with.
I could be, this could be one of those things where people are like, yeah, of course I sort them by color.
You're
But I've
that-
never even
you're
seen
that
an
outlier.
operating system that gives me that option.
Yeah, you would think Android would do that.
I've never even had the option, and so I'm like, if you're listing the number one things the way
Yeah.
that you would sort something, I just don't feel like sorting apps by color would be number 3
Yeah, it was. How'd that?
Like size, maybe.
or something. I don't
like
know.
you do files.
But then I'm like, I don't know how else I'd want to sort them. I just want it alphabetical.
Guess they just wanted
That's
to throw
it.
in. They just wanted to throw in one more to make
Well,
it an odd number. That's
Google's
what it was.
smart though. Why not use some AI and sort them by type?
Sort them by what's best for me, please.
Yeah. What app do I want to open? Based on the time of day,
And
based
honestly,
on
that's-
use. You could probably do that.
Pixel
Yeah,
kind of does that.
the
It
regular
tries to
stuff,
smart
yeah.
select. They'll probably bring some of that in.
Yeah.
But to be able to simply, put your folders up top, and it sorts those folders alphabetically,
Yeah.
and then the apps fall in after that.
Yeah.
It's simple. It works. It should have been there a long time ago, but it's there in the productivity launcher. So
Yeah.
once they roll all of this out, it even has this nice animation we talked about in the last
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
where it kind of everything just kind of
It's nice.
flows up into place.
really nice.
A la Pixel kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's nice. It needs to be rolled out. Hopefully, it'll be there soon. So,
There you go. There's
So
98.
with flags and stuff like Chrome OS 98
Yeah,
had
there's
some really nice little additions to it, and I
goodies.
wasn't expecting it. So yeah, it was really cool to see all of that.
So
stuff.
we got maybe 5-10
Look at Joe
minutes.
using his
5-10 minutes.
watch.
What do you want to cover? Do you want to talk Samsung real quick? Gmail
Yeah,
update.
I think we talked. Well,
think
the
s- I think
Gmail
Sam-
update's not a whole lot to talk about
Yeah,
since
they're
we're
just-
talking about overhauls. Like,
They're cleaning it up.
yeah, finally.
Yeah, it needs it bad.
Material U, just
Yeah,
this
it
really
looks
nice.
really good.
Yeah, this really nice new look, clean. I've been using Simplify Gmail for a long time. I still
that-
love it.
Some of that same vibe,
but
but
it's that kind of like
much
hey,
rather
this-
use the stock Gmail.
Yeah, and I turn Simplify off, and I'm like, oh god, because stock Gmail looks awful. And so if you use any
needed.
kind of email client, and then you try to go to Gmail, it's like, what is happening? Like, why is there so much? It's just poorly laid
They
out. It
haven't
looks
gotten
like
rid of
something
stuff
from
that they should have gotten
2006,
rid of, and there's certain design elements
Yeah.
that don't match.
And Google's stuff generally looks really good.
Yeah.
And so like Gmail is just this really crass outlier that
Yeah.
that we've seen stuff where they've shared this update, this overhaul. It was months ago. Michael saw like in some random workspace article they put that in, and I was like, oh, what is that? Because that looks like my simplified Gmail. Not exactly, but it kind of the same thing. Just this nice clean interface.
Just that material. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that new
And
material.
so,
design. Yeah.
it'll be
nice.
rolling out hopefully soon. They formally announced it at least,
Yeah.
and it's coming. I'm hoping at least our Chrome Unbox thing. I'll have to wait for you all to tell me because I have to turn off Simplify
Yeah.
in order to see it.
I will.
So,
I will see it. I'm on the old
maybe we
school.
need to look in our admin console too to make sure.
Oh, yeah,
there might
that's
be
true.
hey, we want this.
That's
We'd
true.
like it. But yeah.
So
it's
yeah,
gonna be
so
awesome.
so yeah, hopefully that'll roll out soon. Let's chat the Samsung event real quick because Samsung did their kind of big event where they announced their new phones. Unpacked.
Yeah.
They do their other event. Don't they do one other event?
They call them all Unpacked.
Yeah. Okay. They don't
They
call that
normally
one something
do.
else.
Used to the August one was for the Note. Now that's become their folding device event.
Because
So like that was still a
because
big
the-
event, but
yeah,
this is
yes.
the
The
more
Note is
consumer
now the
like
Ultra.
more people are going to go buy these
This
new.
is their biggest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is their
event.
bigger event. So they kind of they had what did they put something on Twitter about like this is going to be a noteworthy event or something, like they were hinting at some of this stuff. Basically the Ultra, the large device, is a Note.
It's a Note.
It's a Note. It's got the pen, S Pen. It's got kind of squared edges.
Samsung
It doesn't look like
Galaxy
the regular.
S22 Ultra Note.
Yeah.
Is
What a great name.
Yeah, it's just the Ultra, but it's the Note.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. The shape looks like a Note. Like it's got the retractable S Pen. This is a move they needed to make. There was no
Should have done
need.
this a long time ago, I think.
Yeah.
2 years probably.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the COVID stuff caused them to be like,
Sure.
I'm not sure, but maybe even after they started blowing up, they should have just
Yeah.
called it. But they didn't have an Ultra back then.
Yeah,
So-
That's true. What is it? 6.8 is this one?
S20 was the first Ultra, and it was pretty shaky. So
Yeah.
the 21, a lot of people thought the 21 Ultra was going to have, which they added S Pen support. Remember
Yeah, but
had
it
a
wasn't
goofy,
stowed, though.
Weird
goofy
S Pen,
case that had the S Pen
that
on the
was
side.
dumb.
Yeah, that was no good. And
So
so
is
it was these steps, obviously.
Yeah,
towards
is the Ultra Note whatever? Is it 6.8? Is that what I
Yes,
heard yesterday?
6.8.
big boy.
Woo!
That's a skosh bigger than the Pixel 6 Pro. Not much.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
is it a little wider though?
I didn't see the ratio.
I didn't.
would
I didn't
assume
pay
it's
attention.
probably a 19.5 or 20/9 or whatever.
Because like the old school notes were that kind of wide.
Yeah, but the last
ones haven't. Yeah, they were
from Note 6 up. They were that taller aspect ratio.
My main question is, what chips are in these?
No one knows.
I
walked around
search
Samsung's metaverse for 30 minutes.
Yeah, looking for clues.
No, picking up trash and planting tree seeds. That's what I did.
That's nice of you. Thanks for doing that,
they
Gabriel.
Thanked me.
Virtually in a space that does nothing.
That's
virtually
right.
picked up and guess what the trash was? Samsung boxes. That's what the trash was.
Oh wow,
Trash people.
Well, they did make it a very big point of the first 15 minutes was all about recycled plastics from the ocean.
Yeah, that
which
was
amazing.
Yeah, a lot of companies.
That's so awesome.
HP's doing a great job with that. Like their Chromebooks and stuff.
Acer's had
doing
a
lot.
pretty good job.
Like it's cool. Like you notice HP, you'll see this the more stuff we unbox from them in this year. Like all of the stuff in the box too is all recycled and recyclable stuff. Like it doesn't look great.
But who cares? You're gonna throw it away. It's the one the like waxy plastic paper.
That was Samsung, I think.
Well, who was that? Yeah,
Samsung.
that was strange. I wonder if that was recycled. Probably was.
It's the same stuff. That's what's in their phones now. So good. I mean,
this is saying
the less waste, the better.
Phone Arena is saying where'd it go?
So they
Snapdragon 880.
Interesting.
See,
but they didn't say
what is it? The Snapdragon 8 Gen 1.
Gen 1 somewhere in here.
Is it a 4-nanometer chip?
No. Yes, it is 4
And
nanometer.
see, the new Exynos is 4 nanometers. So
and
I guarantee
they said that, right?
They said it that way so that because in every other market they'll launch with their Exynos 2200, and so I mean, it probably was that way so that they're not. I don't know. If I were Qualcomm, I'd be a little upset.
8450. That's what's called.
Yeah.
So,
but they didn't in the presentation when they were talking about their new flagship device. They never once said with the Qualcomm Snapdragon blah.
They
just said
the latest, fastest 4 nanometer. And if you look at the Exynos 2200 is the 4 nanometer, so that'll be international. And then the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1.
I thought because they were doing that, maybe that meant that finally they were going to bring
away.
Yeah, the Exynos was going to come to the States because you've got. I know a lot of people are like, well, Qualcomm and 5G and all that stuff. Yes, Qualcomm does a great job of building chips for phones, obviously, but the Exynos is very capable. It's been shown on paper to be right up there with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, and additionally, like you got to think Samsung has their modem in. Well, maybe that's not a great plug. Their modem in the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro.
Yeah,
they've been having a little bit of issues, but I mean, it's been introduced. I mean, that's a pretty mainstream phone that has a Samsung modem in it. So it's like, and I know Tensor is Google's chip, but it's basically a tweaked Googleified Exynos.
Right.
And so you got an Exynos chip with an Exynos modem. Like, why wouldn't Samsung do this? And unless they've signed some contract, they might have a long-standing contract with Qualcomm for the States. But used to, it was the modems aren't there. They don't have 5G support and all that stuff. That's why Qualcomm is in these devices. I don't really know why they wouldn't do that now.
Can you get any Exynos devices in? I mean, do they have low-end Exynos devices?
I don't think
know.
so.
But I mean, surely it's not like a thing like Samsung's just not,
could be
capable of sell or allowed to sell. I don't know.
They could have just signed a contract. Said, hey, for this market,
we need to. We this is why we have to have the Andrew cam.
We had Exynos.
We gotta ask our phone guy.
What do you think, Andrew?
Phone guy.
What do you think? What did they do?
Why?
Why did they do that,
like
Andrew?
This?
Why did they do that, Andrew?
I didn't really work with the chips and stuff per se.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you.
So
Andrew doesn't know.
He didn't work with the chips. He
only uses
didn't
the salsa.
Answer.
Let's Google it.
We're gonna do. I really do want to.
We're gonna have an
for
Andrew
anyone
cam.
watching the video here.
We'll just hook the Pixel 6 up on a
we want to
tripod
do
right
it
here.
Yes.
Hit record. Boom.
Yes, and it's the Andrew Pixel 6 cam.
Yeah.
And then
Brought
we'll
to
have
you
a, we'll
by
have a, we'll
Pixel
have a
6
mic
Pro.
over there. We're gonna make him hold his mic though, just that way it gives it a real
No, we need to
behind
get
the
one of
scenes
those.
feel.
What's the dude that's the side guy for Jimmy Fallon?
Oh my gosh,
What is his name? Higgins.
Higgins. Cut over to Higgins.
I want one of those mics. You know, the big silver mic.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
This needs
Stay
to happen.
tuned, everyone. We're gonna
We'll
hook
bring
up Andrew over there. I guess
And then
none of these cameras.
Yeah.
So we've got Andrew literally.
He's
if you're watching the video,
just right
right there. He's a He's a hop, skip, and a jump right there.
I could touch it.
Yeah.
See,
So we're gonna do an
Touch
answer
the
cam
desk.
over there, so we can
So
cut
yeah,
in.
it's part of their agreement. Samsung was
I was right.
We were just bantering to let
Samsung,
Gabe find the
so,
answer.
Yeah, Samsung would ship phones into the U.S. with only Qualcomm processors.
Wow.
In return, Samsung would fabricate Snapdragon processors.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a big deal. Okay.
That's probably not going to change.
Moreover,
soon then.
Qualcomm holds all the critical CDMA patents.
Ooh.
Really? So
most
then
most
how does-
international phones are GSM, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So how's the Pixel 6 getting around that?
they pay royalties.
Yeah, they're probably paying.
Oof,
That's
tough.
wild.
man.
So-
Business, adulting.
So what else about the event? So they announced these new phones. They've got the I don't even know what's the smaller one. So there's
so-
three,
uh,
right? There's a
Samsung Galaxy S22,
and then
Galaxy S22 Plus.
okay, so there's a
sign.
plus. I was like,
so it's the big, like it's a 6.7 inch S22, like good
that
phone.
style though. It's the style of the
Just
other
the
phone.
three
yeah,
cameras
yeah.
with the wraparound kind of thing,
Yeah.
and then the Ultra looks very different. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
boxy. It's round, completely rounded edges. The camera,
It's got
are
like
very
five
looks like a
cameras.
spider, look like insect
Yeah,
eyes.
if you look at Michael Fisher's, I think he did it on his Instagram. He just did like he got up yesterday morning after he got done, I guess, recording or finishing his video. But he just did like a little hands on with both of them. But you
Yeah.
can see really, really close up the what the two of them look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the 22 and 22 Plus look like a thing, and then the Ultra looks like
Yeah,
its own
oh,
thing.
yeah.
Again, it's basically the Note, and
Yeah.
it makes more sense to me. Like this
Right.
is good. The Ultra needs to kind of be its own thing.
Totally.
It's got its own price, that's for sure. So it's what,
I didn't even
14?
get into that. Yeah,
$1,400?
$1,400.
Yeah.
Because when they said the Plus was going to be like, it's basically the same as the S22. It's just bigger. Like I don't think it has any other benefits. Maybe it's got a little bit more storage or something, but it's $1,000.
Yeah.
So I'm like that. We're not
They're
talking
not cheap
affordable-
phones.
Yeah,
Really.
this isn't. They're not going for any kind of affordability.
No.
If you want an affordable Galaxy S phone, get the smaller one, which it's probably not small. I didn't see the size on it, but it's probably like 6.3 or something.
Yeah, I didn't
Um,
pay attention.
Anywho, so
We just had this event on like
it was
in
kind
the
of
background.
planned. Yeah, this isn't like central to what we do.
This
here.
is I'm sorry if you wanted a detailed report on this. It's
Yeah.
not what we're going to give you, sorry.
But one of the things that I saw that was really cool was that they were like talking about the camera. Obviously, they spent 20 minutes talking about the camera, and I'm sure it's going to be a great camera. Most modern flagship phones are
Yeah.
great cameras, but they pointed out like you can use all these features in Snapchat and Instagram and all these
Native
they're making
camera,
sure the native camera is working in this. And Google's kind of tried to do this, but you got to think when you're going to bring the native camera.
Google's listening to you.
Stop it. When you're going to bring the native camera into an app, like there has to be some handoff between the app developer and the phone hardware and software. And so, when Google tries to do it, they're like, "Hey, we've sold 18 phones. Will you make sure your app works with ours?" And I'm being ludicrous here, but compared to with Samsung,
Sure,
it's not even close. And the developer's like, yeah, we'll put it on the punch list. We'll
get around to it. 6
months later, they're like, we were going to do that thing for you guys.
Yeah.
And I swear
Google
we're
did-
going to do it. Like, we're going to do it. We swear.
Google did the whole Snapchat camera on this last one.
It's supposed to. I don't even know what it. I don't get it.
You can
Tap on
double
the
tap
back.
the back of your phone.
after
and-
the
Was that
update,
this? I thought that was the iPhone.
I tried to set.
I'm
I tried to set it up on here, and
yeah, because remember they had the
it
whole.
would open the app, but I'm
Yeah.
like that. I can open any app. That doesn't matter.
I've never even
It's
messed with
supposed
it.
to be able to do it like from the lock screen.
Yeah.
Which I've got. I just set up Google Assistant on double tap,
Mhm.
and so that I can use my power button. Like a power
like a
button.
normal power button.
Sorry, no side rant.
Sorry, native cameras.
But so Samsung is over here going, "Hey, we have sales numbers that are through the roof.
Yeah.
We own the Android phone space. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
In
In the
most
US, yeah.
markets, especially in
Yeah.
the U.S., like most people are like, you can Apple or Samsung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Apple or Android. It's Apple or Samsung.
Yeah.
And so, seeing that, I don't know, that just set something off in my head. I was kind of watching that, going, huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Samsung's probably the only company that's going to be able to do that now. Like, that's just where we are. It's going to be a long time till that changes. And so I really feel like Google needs to sidle up even more to Samsung. I'm not saying stop making pixels,
No.
but do everything. And I know they work pretty closely together. People act like they're, they're fighting all the time. But you hear Hiroshi Lockheimer talk about it. they're clearly involved in all sorts of things that are going on.
Absolutely. I mean, they merged their wearables.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right. Yeah,
that's all
exactly.
one
Perfect
thing.
example.
They're not. Yeah, they're not
They're not at odds.
blood sworn enemies, by
Right.
any
No.
means. And to clarify, what they pointed out during the thing was that it's not just a matter of your social media apps using your camera. It's leveraging all the
cool stuff.
So it'd be like using your Pixel 6 camera and getting all of the Pixel 6. Because if you open Instagram or whatever, you can take some good pictures through the Instagram app, but it's not going to do all the Pixel stuff.
Right.
You're not going to get all that cool stuff.
Maybe they're getting better with that. I don't know. I know you would think that if they were really pushed into that, like Google would make a big deal about that.
Sure.
And they just kind of haven't. And so, in general, most Android phones aren't going to get that. You're just not going to get that kind of that working together with app developers. But app developers that are going, oh yes, Samsung, yes, we'll make sure our stuff works because we want people, the millions and millions and millions of people that are going to buy this phone, to also know that our apps work well on it. So it just got me thinking about that, and just the fact that yes, Google make your Pixel phones, and that's great, but you can't. They
did a great job with these last ones,
of denying the power that Samsung wields in the Android market. And so everything you can do, because we were talking even as the event's going on, I'm like, I think Samsung still ships their own messaging app, but work out a deal with them, incentivize them to put Google Messages as the stock messaging app.
Yeah.
Do you know why iMessage took over? It's because Apple puts that on out of the box, and 99% of people open the phone up, log in, and use the messenger that's on the phone already.
Exactly.
And so either Samsung make your messaging parallel with Google Messages, or just get rid of it and use Google Messages. I know Samsung likes to make all of their own little apps, and that's fine. Some of these things are where Google needs to lean in and figure out, what can we do to get you to ship this thing on here? They talked about Duo a lot during the presentation, and I'm like, Duo is one of those products from Google that has caught on. It's there. People use it, and it's a thing. And so having Samsung say, hey, this is the way you video call on a Samsung Galaxy S phone, only just blows that up. And so the same thing needs to happen with messages and basic stuff. I know Samsung's got an internet browser, but I'm pretty sure I think they come with Chrome out of the box now.
The last Samsung I had did. Yeah.
And so some of those basic things, make sure that those are there, and massage those relationships with Samsung, because you need them. You need them to keep providing that sort of stuff, because frankly, they're the only ones that can in the phone space anymore. Against Apple in the U.S. Again, if you happen to be listening to this in another country, some of this stuff doesn't apply.
Right.
But United States people, Americans, are strange when it comes to phone habits. And it's the only reason iMessage does what it does in the States. It's a completely bizarro town for most of the rest of the world. They're like, why are you still talking about SMS and MMS at this point? I don't know, because iMessage. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why we're all still stuck on it, and Apple's doing all their goofiness with this. We should move past it, and we won't, because that's the messenger that's bundled in the phone that most Americans go buy.
Did you all watch Marquez's video, The Green Bubble, Blue Bubble?
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it yet.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I assume it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to go
I prefer.
check that out.
I mean, I like watching Marquez, but I like those types of videos when he does. When it's
the
really
explained ones are cool.
Stuff,
So
that was the big takeaway.
Yeah.
It hit me. Samsung is. Not that I didn't know or don't think about the fact that they're important in that space.
Right. Yeah. It's
so important that Google keeps helping them move the bar forward, because that's Android's hope in the United States.
Exactly.
They need Samsung to keep doing well.
Yeah. I want Google to continue iterating on this Pixel line, and this last Pixel was fantastic. But there's no denying Samsung's the 500-pound gorilla.
And they also said 4 years of support.
Yeah,
they're going to support these phones for 4 years,
which is cool.
Right.
Come on, Google.
I don't know how they work that out with Qualcomm, unless
I don't know.
Qualcomm's maybe with its new Snapdragon Gen 1 whatever is going to support their chips longer, or maybe they said, hey, if you don't do this, we're going to stop making your chips for you.
I mean, they're obviously
it's a weird relationship.
The fact that
Very
they've
strange.
come to Chrome OS shows that maybe they're finally starting to become flexible, because you can't put a chip in a Chromebook and support it for 3 years.
Yeah.
So, but now they're getting 4 years of support on a Samsung phone too, and I'm like, why is Google with their own chip on their own phone not supporting it longer than 3? And I'm like, so I mean, Samsung's doing some stuff in the Android space to me that for a long time Samsung was like, ugh. gimmicks and
Yeah.
and goofiness, and it's like anything I can do to not have a Samsung phone, I'm going to do.
Totally.
And they're starting to make phones and make moves as a company that I'm like, okay, I can get down with this.
Yeah.
Like, I like this. I don't like a lot of the Samsung junk they put on phones. I don't. And their phones are expensive. But I like seeing them move in these directions because, again, you're not going to supplant them. So I kind of want to root for them because I want Android to succeed. I want it to succeed in better ways because that's going to mean better Pixel phones and other phones as long as Android keeps growing.
Yeah,
So.
and I will say that yesterday's event was probably the first one I've ever watched that didn't just completely feel like a huge sleight of hand, all this like
cheese
flag,
fest.
I mean, BTS was on there and all that stuff or whatever, but it was informative,
good.
Yeah.
and they were talking about what they've really innovated with their phones.
Oh yeah,
The
Not
little,
just like here's our next gimmick.
yeah, having
for
the Queen at the
the
beginning.
Queen, the skit
That was
thing that
kinda
they
cool.
did when they
Yeah.
unveiled the phone. That
I'm pretty
was fun.
sure that's the Queen from Bridgerton.
Yeah, it was that vibe for sure.
I'm 99% sure.
Yeah. I haven't
that
watched that
was
show,
her.
but yeah, it looks like it.
I'm pretty sure, but yeah, like what they did with that
was
whole
just
thing,
cool.
it was
It
goofy
was fun.
and it was like, but it was funny and
Yeah.
it was well done instead of just being. They've just done some stuff that's been real cringy,
Yeah,
in
for
years
sure.
past, and so it was a good event.
Yeah.
They've got new tablets that,
which I'm sure will be
frankly, I
awesome.
wish
They look awesome.
They do. I wish
They
they'd
look
make
really nice.
one of those and put Chrome OS on it.
Kevin
One day.
wrote that
Oh,
this
yeah, I saw
morning.
it. I saw
One
Kevin
day.
at
Please.
About Chromebooks wrote that. And I'm like, come on.
I'm looking at this device right in front of you.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm like,
just
Samsung,
do
you,
that.
you got the bits
Yep.
and pieces already. Like, just put a different operating system on it.
I mean, it's simple.
It's
It's easy. Just do it.
But I mean, for Samsung, it
Yeah, it
actually
is.
probably isn't that big of a lift. It's just
No.
them
Just
deciding,
do it. I promise you will sell a lot of them.
We'll get them out the door.
Let's
We
remember.
got you.
Let's
We will-
remember.
we will
Goddamn.
wholesale
Let's
them
remember
for
that
you.
the Pixel C
Well, sorry,
was
we're not
once
gonna do that.
supposed to be a Chrome OS device, so obviously it's
Yeah.
not that big of a deal.
Right.
No, honestly,
So.
it's not for these guys, especially for Samsung.
Yeah, so there you have it. I'm sure if you want to learn more about the Samsung event, I know we didn't get into a lot of the details. I'm sure there's other great articles out there or podcasts.
We'll put a
go
link
check
to
it out.
the
We can link to
YouTube
Fisher's.
video.
We can link to Michael Fisher's little thing he did too, because I think you were watching that and it was pretty entertaining. And
Yeah,
then,
it was.
And then, like The Verge, and normally a lot of them do their little recaps. So you can go check those out too. But okay, I think that's it for today. Do we have anything else? Oh, the Stadia drama, but we'll just link it.
Save
we
that
can
for
say
another
that.
time.
Some-
Yeah, or what-
something else will happen between now
That's
and next
right.
Friday. We can make it a
That's right.
session.
That's
That'd be
right.
good.
All right, folks. We appreciate you all tuning in and listening and watching for the first time. This has been really fun. And yeah, that's it for today. We'll catch you all next week. See ya. I don't know if I'm supposed to look at the camera. Should I do the outro looking at the camera?
Like this.
Intro looking at the camera. Hey, that's it.
I think if you're going to, we need to too.
Yeah.
I think everyone just smile at the camera like this. Goodbye.
Very sure.
Which camera? Which one do I look? I'll just come right over here. It's not even going to be in focus. Bye.
Hi.
That's not
we
It's Joe.
gotta go now.
Thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you next week.